You know what I'd really like to see?
consumers.
I'd like to see someone from like the MSA just assemble a crack team and challenge the government to a debate or a jelly wrestling showdown.
Alright, good evening, planet internet. I'm Phil Peters. I'm here. Wait.
It was bound to happen eventually.
No, I'm not.
What?
I'm not even almost Phil Peters. I'm Pete Green. You're Phil Peters. That's Duncan McIntyre.
I'm Duncan and I like to party.
This is Will.
G'day.
And for the first time ever, a woman, Miss Maddy Hale.
What's up?
There you go. People said it'd never happen. Look at us now, haters. I'd like to start. Haters. Let's start tonight with The Great Gatsby, which is a movie now.
Coming out.
I hear it's so good they're going to make it into a book.
Yeah.
I think that would sell literally thousands of copies.
Yeah.
As long as they don't split it up into 3 movies taken from the appendices of the other.
Yeah, that would
the
be
back catalogue.
Yeah.
the back catalogue of The Great Gatsby.
Gatsby 2.
Miss
Gatsby
out
goes
on
from
those
Pleasant Summer Drive.
Great Gatsby 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, well, I mean, the big problem, we were talking about this before the podcast started, was that it's coming out in 3D. And we're wondering why there's any need to make a film
'Cause-
in 3D,
Well,
which
and
is
my-
set in the 1920s.
And my big problem
has
is
nothing
it's
to do with
historically
3D.
inaccurate because nothing was in 3D.
Yeah,
in the
everything was in
1920s.
As far as I'm
Exactly.
concerned, it was all in black and white as well.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if they had 2Ds.
Just a,
I'm sure they
So
had.
it was all, everything was in one dimension.
Pete, I've seen photos and they certainly had double Ds.
But I mean,
Yeah.
is that
Good start.
really an
Great
issue?
start.
I'm happy to see Leo DiCaprio 3D, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
more
not
of him.
complaining. Bring it.
That's true.
She has
Bring it.
a Leo DiCaprio doll that she keeps
That's just weird.
in her closet.
That's just weird. I
Hey, it's not
have
our
I
a
got it.
life-size
finish,
doll.
man. Just chill
Duncan.
out, alright?
I'm concerned because
Yeah.
I really like the novel, and I'm worried that whoever, I don't know if it's like the producers or if it was Baz or whoever,
Yeah, probably Baz.
kind of got excited about shooting, the scenery and whatever, and the cars and.
Well, I mean, we've all seen like Moulin Rouge and like Strictly Ballroom. He's
Yeah,
not
Yes,
exactly.
we've all seen those movies.
He's not exactly.
Well, most cultured people have. But
He's
Moulin
not
Rouge,
restrained.
it's over the top.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but you just think that it's going to be a bit.
OTT.
But I mean,
Yeah,
who gives a
OTT.
shit? It's in 3D. Is that really an issue? You can still watch it in 3D.
Well, yeah,
Nobody's taking the 2D
It
away
hurts.
from you, though.
I don't like 3D.
No,
I mean,
I
it
don't
hurts.
like 3D. It's changed.
Hurts your eyes.
Aren't most
you gotta
movies
focus.
in 3D these days?
Yeah.
Most of the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy to go and watch a movie in 2D, even if it's in 3D. I went and saw The Avengers in 3D. I saw Toy Story in 3D.
But the problem is they're shooting it in
I saw
3D.
Avatar in 2D, and I still
I
still
saw
so-
Avatar in 3D
what's the
and it was
point of
awesome.
that?
But that's because it's flying.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
like-
and you want arrows or bullets or something coming out of the screen.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you want like
Not-
a 90s 3D.
yeah, not champagne fountains.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. 3D.
And apparently, like, words from the book come out at you. Like when,
That's awesome.
yeah, it seems like some tacky, 3D back when you had the red and blue glasses in like
Yeah.
2002 or something. Whatever
Yeah.
Like,
the
oh
first
no,
3D
the
was.
boulder is coming. Woof, oh,
Yeah.
just missed. It's
Like
okay.
Spy Kids 3,
Oh,
like Lava
yeah.
Girls.
That was
I don't know.
great.
Seemed like in every early 3D movie, somebody always threw an orange at you.
Yeah.
Like
It always seemed
orange-
like an orange
yeah.
float out into the auditorium. Every time.
There was a lot of
Did anyone see-
anger against the audience in the early 3D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff getting thrown
And
at
like
you.
and like sludge would always just kind of like fly out with like gelatinous 3D kind of.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, did anyone see any movie that in IMAX?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know Batman did their movies in IMAX.
I saw,
Yeah,
I saw,
so how was
I saw The
delicious?
Dark Knight in IMAX.
Delicious is
and
the
it
only way
was
to describe it.
fantabulously delectable.
Yeah.
But it's not 3D. Like, I didn't see Batman in 3D. I just saw it on the IMAX screen, which
Okay.
is
And
like
Prometheus was beautiful
yeah.
on IMAX.
Because
as
the
well.
great thing about IMAX is that if you sit somewhere towards the center, it reaches the corners of your vision. So you have no peripheral
There's
vision.
nothing
that
in your
isn't-
life except for the movie at that point.
Exactly.
But don't they? Isn't it 3D? Isn't that the point of IMAX? There's a big screen with like very good
It's the
3D.
immersion. Yeah.
I remember going and see Dolphins in 3D, so
Yeah.
I'm
I
assuming
saw-
I can go and see Batman in 3D as well. Or was it just the big screen?
I think it was just the big screen because they actually shot Batman, as far as I know, with 2 different cameras.
Yeah, but it was just
one,
IMAX.
One
and
for
normal.
IMAX and one for normal.
Just like 35.
no,
Because you have to
definitely-
shoot on a different film. Cause
Yeah,
it's so
in
big.
Rises that definitely was the case. They had some scenes were in 3D IMAX.
No,
some
just
scenes were in
IMAX.
IMAX and others were just
35 mil.
Yeah.
No, I did see whatever the name of the IMAX in Melbourne. They're like it's the second biggest screen like in the world. And I
Yeah.
saw Harry
Yeah, it's called
Potter.
IMAX.
It's just called IMAX.
Blows your
whatever
mind.
the name of the place is.
IMAX.
It's literally just called IMAX.
It's called IMAX.
Okay,
You're not missing anything. Don't worry.
Now that we all know what we're talking about. I saw Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince in 3D there, and it was like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I literally felt like I was a wizard. I
Harry?
was like,
Did a bald guy in an overcoat
wizard,
come and tell
Harry.
you you're a wizard?
I wish that was the most.
That's like bald and then bearded.
That's
Now
pretty cool.
that you mention it, it was
Bearded.
probably the most disappointing movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For very reason.
See,
okay.
that it's interesting you say that because I would have thought some sort of movie like that, which isn't exactly visually fantastic, would be. I mean, it's okay,
The
but
spells and shit are pretty.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not the
Especially-
absolute pinnacle of where movie technology can take us these days. Where you're looking at something like Prometheus or like The Dark Knight Rises, which are just really beautiful films, or
I think-
something
I
like
think-
Avatar when it came out.
I
And
think
you
The
get
Dark
just a
Knight-
run-of-the-mill Harry Potter. It's
I
like,
think
you
The
know,
Dark Knight
whatever.
Rises gets a better rap than it deserves.
Yeah, but you just hate
Definitely.
fun and freedom.
I was
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah, I was totally disappointed.
I'm sorry. You too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Represent. Definitely.
Alright. Well, yeah, at least now
Well,
we all know where we
ho-
stand.
hopefully,
Let's-
Great
we don't wanna
Gatsby
have
will do
fisticuffs.
better.
Yeah, so
during
let's
this.
just agree to disagree
Yeah.
Me and
violently.
Matt will take you fucking all on.
Yeah, I don't
Take the
want-
lead.
Trust
I
Mads.
got your back.
You go high, I'll go low. The Iron Man 3 also in what?
What?
Okay, Iron Man 3 also out. What? You just trying to throw me off, aren't you? That's what it's doing.
I'm just scared of Mads punching me in the face.
Iron Man
She's
3.
brutal. Afraid.
I saw it the other week. It was okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's all you can say, really. It's okay.
Star
It gets some thumbs up.
Star Trek. The new
yeah.
ones. The new one's coming out.
Yeah.
Is anyone excited?
Into Darkness. I'm very excited.
I'm also excited. Phil, are you excited?
Well, I didn't see the first one, but apparently it
It was beautiful.
quite good.
That's another really
Mads,
beautiful
you
film as
excited?
well.
Star Trek.
I
You a big
can't
fan?
say that I am. I'm more
Okay.
excited about Gatsby.
Fair enough.
Definitely.
Not trying to reinforce stereotype or anything there. Dunk, you excited about Star Trek?
If I'm not excited for Star Trek, then you can beam me up, Scotty.
Fantastic.
That is then.
I think, yeah, J.J. Abrams directing this, the king of the lens flare. Or maybe...
Yes.
If
He's
can you imagine
close.
if he directed Battlefield 3, the movie?
Him or Michael
It
Bay.
would just be
All lens
Yeah,
flare.
it would just be blue
Yeah.
and the audience shielding their eyes.
You know what annoys me though? People say that in like Battlefield 3 and like Halo and all this kind of stuff, you shouldn't have lens flare because you're just looking at human eyes and you don't get lens flare from human eyes. Yeah? But in all those movies, all the protagonists are always wearing like goggles or a helmet or like some kind of lens in front of their eyes where you do get lens flare. So
Movies or games?
I could believe that.
y'all can go suck it.
I'll wait for a physicist to write in and disprove that.
Yeah,
point,
Dave.
Dave, if you're
but our
listening.
resident physicist.
But wouldn't they have like glare-proof goggles? if
Probably.
they're in the
I think they were
military?
invented
Master,
like 30
master
years ago.
space travel, but they can't quite just like invent some sunglasses. That,
Yeah.
Well, fine. Kill my dreams.
I hope they make a Halo movie eventually.
I think they are.
They were going to. That's what District 9 was because
Wait,
Peter
what?
Jackson was originally... They'd started some pre-production and done some like costumes and some set design and a bit of
I
alien
don't
design.
remember any lobsters in Halo.
Yeah, no,
Fucking
'cause
prawns,
then-
mate. Fucking prawns.
No, Phil. Yeah, Phil, because then the funding didn't go through, so they still
okay.
had some props and shit, and they
Yeah,
thought,
video game
let's
movies-
make this movie into something anyway, and they came out with District 9, which was a great film anyway. But yeah, Halo, yeah, hopefully one day.
I think it's picked up speed again. I think
Has
I think they've
Yeah.
like at least a lot of pre-production's been done. They're trying to
Yeah.
get a director down and everything.
Actually, funny story about District 9. I probably shouldn't say this, but
Sorry, we can always cut it off.
You gotta
bleep
push
it.
through.
I acquired it through semi-legal procedures.
It's less than legal.
Questionably.
Less than
And the version that I saw was actually just somebody who had gone to see it in theaters and taken a video camera
Nice.
and filmed like the screen
That's
in
old
theaters.
Best con.
That's almost retro now.
And so
The good old days
I just
when
thought
you pirated movies on tape.
because you've seen District 9. It has sort of that like it's like an interview the whole time, and it's sort of like
Sort of documentary style.
it's documentary style, like
So it's sort of like
like
meta
journalism.
documentary.
So you think that
You think with District
I
9
thought the whole time, I'm like, all right, this is like I can see the camera moving. This is
Like
just really
Cloverfield.
well shot. Yeah, like Cloverfield. And then it gets to the end and people start applauding, and I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I saw the first time I watched Blair Witch Project. It was on VHS with all the like crackly shit because it was from the video
And you're
shop.
like, bloody video easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I got to the end and I realized it was, supposed
part
to
of
be.
it, yeah.
It was supposed to be part of it.
There you go. Well, actually, no. Let's move on to Commander Chris Hadfield, who's been up on the International Space Station for I don't know how long now, but he's been taking all these amazing photos of Earth and
Was he the guy that-
re-recording David Bowie songs in zero gravity and all that sort of stuff.
Important things.
The way it was meant to be played.
But he's kind of made space cool again.
Yeah. When did space stop being cool?
No, I think
I have a question.
No.
The
Yeah.
space station is pretty unaerodynamic, isn't it?
Well, yes.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Thanks for that glittering
that won't make any
contribution.
sense
Good.
because we haven't put it up yet.
All right.
That's because they built it.
Yeah, but he's going to leave the International Space Station, I think, like today or tomorrow, and come back to Kazakhstan.
As in, he's landing in
Does it
Kazakhstan,
stop?
That's
or
what you do.
he's a Kazakhstani
No, he's
national.
Canadian.
Welcome to Earth.
Extra mesh.
He's
What
Canadian,
type of dog is this?
but you have to come back to Earth via Kazakhstan if you're on the International Space Station. That's where
That's
they'll
the
take
only
off and
drop
land
zone.
from. No, it is
Wow, that's
because the Americans don't make the space shuttle anymore.
He's got a connecting flight from International Space Station to Kazakhstan.
It is a bit
Back
like
to
that.
Canada,
Yeah.
Because the only people
There's
in
like
the
a
world
6-hour
who
layover, but
have
it's alright,
rockets
it's fine.
capable of going up to the space station and back again are the Russians, and they fly out of Kazakhstan.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Did you
True
see
story.
the other week? The
So it's not just
photo-
potassium in Kazakhstan.
No, they have greatest rockets and potassium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the photo of the Mars rover tracks the other week?
Yeah. And it's made a shape of a male
male.
appendage
Yeah.
in the dust of Mars.
Yeah, made the front page. It was just-
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if it's deliberate or not.
Well, we went
I
to,
didn't
Yeah,
read
read
the
the
articles.
went to Mars and
It drew a penis on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
what we
like,
do.
I like the idea. I mean, if Martians came down here and drew like intricate crop circles,
Yeah.
and then we just went up there and just drew a massive cock,
Yeah.
on the
And not
face of
even
Mars.
well drawn. as
No,
well.
no.
Just
Yeah.
tire treads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we didn't even
Very
put
Not
any
like
effort into
super
it.
bad style with, the intricate,
I like-
cowboy.
I like to think there were two.
Only like 10% of kids do it or something.
I like to think there were like two kids in some back room at NASA or something who programmed like that sequence.
They were just doing.
and
that.
then
They were doing shots.
yeah, and then the mission
out of
and then the
beacons
mission
and going, "Fuck,
controller
you're
like
great."
sees it on the news and he's just like Collins and it's like running through the hallway at NASA. That's what I like to think. Okay, let's move on to tomorrow actually is May the 14th, 10 days after International Star Wars Day, which will be a national day of student protest against the Gillard government's proposed budget cuts to tertiary institutions in order to fund the Golski reforms.
Moving forward.
Moving Australia forward.
One step
One
back
cut at a time.
Yeah.
I was going to make a really bad joke then, but I won't.
Make it. We can always cut it.
No, it's fine. I was going to say like Tumblr. Moving humanity forward, one cut at a time.
I don't,
That was more.
I don't get that one.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
That
it's
was a
okay.
bad
No,
joke.
it's-
You
it's
shouldn't have
really-
said
Is that about suicide?
No, not suicide.
Alright.
As-
Just
as
self-harm.
such,
Just
yeah.
teenage- just teenage
people
self-harm.
cutting themselves and putting pictures of it on Tumblr.
That
Yeah.
one.
So they do that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Cut for
it's huge.
Beaver.
Did you cut for Beaver?
I did. There's the episode of The Office
For
where
Bieber or Beaver?
No, yeah, because it's 4chan convinced all these kids that what did they say about Justin Bieber?
That he smoked marijuana and that
You should-
in protest you should cut yourselves and send tweet the photos to Justin Bieber.
Yeah. So all these kids cut themselves and tweeted the photos.
To stop him from smoking again,
Hashtag,
apparently.
yeah.
Hashtag.
Oh my god.
Cut for Bieber.
That's
Actually,
disturbing.
It's morbid.
Speaking of teenage girls,
Where is this going?
no, I was
Is that
just
a party
reading
last
on what was it, CNN or something, about a bunch of like teenage girls protesting, saying that whatever the Russian bomber,
Oh, that is cute.
Boston Marathon bomber, he's
Too
too
cute to be a
attractive to be a
terrorist.
terrorist. And so they wanted to get him like released or something.
Yeah,
I've-
it's
I've-
crazy.
I've heard from a number of
Bizarre.
people that young
Wildly
Stalin was particularly.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
a bit of a
he
hottie.
is.
Yeah.
Young Stalin.
Like-
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
when he's
old,
like
I mean,
20.
frankly, old Stalin.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bang.
get
Just
on board.
like the day before he died.
You just can't say
Stalin.
no to him.
No, you can't.
You couldn't. Oh, that's 10 years in a gulag.
Well, technically you have to say niet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he was hot.
next young
He was
Stalin.
really
He's
hot.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet Tash.
Babin.
Banging.
Babin. Taking moustache right.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
I'm just thinking of Joe.
I just heard teenage girls. and-
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're talking about the National Student Protest tomorrow, which the MSA at Monash and everyone else is encouraging everyone to walk out of their classes and go to a protest.
Show of
at RMIT
hands,
in the
how many
city.
people in this room are going?
Yeah, that'll be useful.
No, none.
No, I don't think anyone's
None
No,
of
going.
us.
I don't know.
Because we're paying for those classes
Exactly.
though as well. Like that's like $30 down the
And you've
drain.
already paid for it. It's not like you get the money back just because you don't go.
Yeah.
You know, the uni's already got your money. You've got exams in 2 weeks. You'd be an absolute muppet not to go to your classes.
Yeah.
What I don't get is that it's federal cuts
Yes.
to the budget, so they're marching on state parliament.
State Parliament. Yeah, because that'll show 'em.
Yeah, and but I mean, it's not like it's a surprise that uni students are annoyed that they're taking money away
Yeah.
from universities.
And I mean, yeah, power
What
to
are they
them.
hoping to do? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
power to them if they manage to get them to reverse the cut. I mean, they won't. But
They
power
won't.
to them if they do.
Yeah.
But it's not worth me missing a bunch of important classes 2 weeks before exams. It's not worth anyone missing really important classes 2 weeks before
Yeah.
exams.
Well, see,
Unless
people
you're doing a
going
fine
would-
arts degree.
The people going though would say that it is worth it because the cuts that they're going to get.
Well, it's only worth it if they manage to reverse the cuts. Otherwise, you've like done nothing but
They can
pump up
only-
your ego.
They can only
responses.
reverse the cuts if everyone goes, so it's like a vicious cycle.
But they won't.
Like,
But they won't.
It's
I don't-
not realistic.
I think
I don't know, man. The MSA told me it's on.
it's happening.
So yeah.
I saw a sticker.
Expect a
I saw
bill
a
on
sticker in
Parliament.
in some toilets today that was like advertising.
Call
this-
for a good time.
it was advertising the demonstration, and it said "Help unfuck the degree factory." And I was like, frankly, if a university is a degree factory, that's awesome. Like, if everyone's getting really good educations and just getting out of there with the degrees they want,
Which is the purpose of university.
that's great.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want from a tertiary institution?
Yeah, it's not high school. It's
Exactly.
not like a formative time as much.
Exactly. It's you get what you get out of university, what you want to get out of university. No one's stopping you from like taking 16 years to finish an arts degree and doing every single like medieval history unit you can find if that's what you want to do. But a lot of people just want to get in there and get the degree and get on with it. You know?
I have the flyer right here, and right at the bottom it says, "Education is a right, not a privilege."
Well, I mean, some people would argue. I tend to agree with that sentiment. I think everyone should have the right to access tertiary education if they want, or if they want to go to like TAFE or do an apprenticeship or whatever. But I think everyone should have access to tertiary
You
education.
pretty much do in Australia.
I mean, if
Yeah.
Kemp was here, he would argue that government funding at an institution like university is less than necessary. If you're being
No, I think he'd argue that tertiary institutions tend to waste a lot of government funding.
well,
What?
all institutions tend to waste
I mean-
a lot of government funding.
Yeah,
Tertiary institution, that's ensuring a brighter future for our whole nation. Universities are where the great minds come together and,
Oh my god.
Exactly. I mean,
Like us.
present
Like us,
company
yeah.
maybe not included there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's how you get
it's true. I think
any
That's how we
progress in
And research,
science,
true,
philosophy,
yeah.
any-
research scholarships, and the thing that they were talking about that they were going to cut was stuff like, scholarships for underprivileged students and stuff like that.
Really?
And
No,
yeah.
I think what they were primarily talking about cutting. Well, what the government has cut is the 10% discount for paying your HEX up front.
Right.
So now it doesn't matter when you pay your HEX, you pay the same amount of money. And something else, and then but the bulk of the cuts they're leaving for individual universities to decide on.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough. I mean, like, if you've got ready cash to pay for your university degree up front, like, fuck you. I want that money. No one has that money.
Excuse me, Will,
except for rich people.
but I have that money.
Yeah, but that's because you're a Yank and you've got a college fund from birth. Like, most Australians don't do that.
Yeah, because
I mean, frankly, we shouldn't even let these people
we're
come to our country.
We're just struggling to scrape the crumbs off the lap of our American imperial oppressors.
And you get people who jib the system as well, though, like who get their parents to pay it up front so they get the 10% discount, and then they pay it back to their parents later. But my parents don't have that kind of money.
Although I think it was previously 15%, and then they scrapped or 20%, and then they cut it down to 10%. And somebody made the very good point on Facebook or somewhere, that if you have the money to pay your whole university degree up front, and you're going to do that because you get 10% off, stick it in a high interest bank account for the duration of your degree, and you will have made a profit on top of the 10% that you would have got off by the end of your degree. So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
that's true.
No, but I'm like, it wasn't an incentive in the first place. Like 10%, really neither here nor there. If you have that,
if you can scrape together, if you're a student, you can scrape together whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I pay up front, as I've just said. And it's not really about like the 10% discount that I'm going to be making. It's just that when I finish my degree, I won't have that looming debt like over my head. Even though I know that like you don't pay off the HEX until like you reach a certain tax bracket. Like the thing is, I won't have to pay off the debt ever.
That's true.
But you have the money for it now. I don't.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
I think
preferably everybody would pay up. I mean, there's no reason not to if you have the money. But it provides a service to people who can't necessarily afford, or their parents can't afford to put the money up for them to also get an education. And I think it's good. I think government funding education like this is actually really critical to getting new people into science, and as opposed to just that kind of making it money based.
Yeah, getting people who couldn't do it beforehand into it.
Yeah. Well, if we could, I mean that's the I mean, good luck tomorrow. Good luck to everyone going to state parliament. I hope you change the world. I hope I'm just being hopelessly pessimistic about the whole thing.
Just a cynical dick. And
I would love nothing more to be proven a cynical dick tomorrow. I'm still trying to devise a way to eat my hat after I said that they wouldn't make quorum at the STM.
Yeah, do I make another wild claim?
No, I will eat some form of headwear. I swear it.
I hope it's a toupee.
A used toupee.
I think the saddest thing about it isn't so much the funding cuts. It's also the fact that that whole culture of striking and protesting has really been lost from Australian society. The fact that your cynical comment is probably completely correct, that not many uni students are going to go out there.
I don't think it's been lost. I just think it's overused now. I think the student. Do
we? We don't go on strike that often.
No, but this is endless
help.
But what has the MSA really ever done to help me personally?
Parking is not cheaper.
But if I don't feel like I'm not saying me personally, because they get me 20% off the bar,
which has gone up fucking 40%.
I'm totally grateful for that.
Yeah,
but,
they've had
fool's
inflation
gold.
rates
Fool's
of
gold,
Parliament's got up 40% each.
I think there is a general feeling among students that the student politicians represent a vocal minority of the student population and don't actually have the interests of the
and that's sad, though,
majority at heart. Well, it's sad. It's sad
but
in both
it's their
ways.
fault. Yeah.
It's sad that
they're not representing the majority.
Yeah, it's sad that students feel that. It's sad that it's possibly sad that the student politicians don't sort of try and get back in touch with the roots of their constituency. I think. There's genuine grievances on campus about issues that affect students every day. It's boring stuff like parking and the cost of food and all that kind of thing. They don't have that
much power though, anyway, to do anything.
But then they're trying to change the government.
They're trying to affect stuff in the budget.
Yeah. And what's the point of them?
That's a separate issue. That's not necessarily the MSA though. That's the whole student population, which should technically be protesting. The MSA is just helping to advertise it. Yeah. Like, I mean, think about the other universities and.
But they should be working more on these things that are more in touch with
it seems like they're not really interested in making incremental upgrades. They need to be, and I think this is just like a political thing generally. You need to be seen making a big gesture.
Yeah, it's sort of like an all or nothing.
You have to imagine like the politically minded like uni students who are just like frothing at the mouth to have like any single excuse to like protest anything, and this is like the perfect storm for them. It's like MSA voting to like condone of like violence in the Middle East.
You guys just said that you do agree with the striking and you wish them luck.
No.
Well, so that you
I don't agree with it.
Okay,
we don't disagree.
That you don't agree with the funding cuts. So in that way, the MSA is at least in this one thing representative of your views.
But it just seems like they're just whinging. Personally, I don't have that much of a problem. If there's an issue with the waste going towards funding in universities, then tighten up the screws and fund them less. If you can get away with it and push it into the secondary education budget or wherever you want to put it, sure. You want your government to be efficient. If you just hold them to the same standards at the whole time and don't challenge them, then I mean that's an issue. But my problem is that they're only challenging them now that it's come to a head, and they said, well, how about you kind of get your shit together, all the universities.
It's not like that's not even my problem with it. My problem is that like protests, marches, strikes, whatever, like that's their move. You know, there's
perhaps that's just the move that we see.
No, but if it was me, and I wanted to like the basically the only, and I don't see students having any leverage that way. Like, you know, students walk off campuses everywhere tomorrow. Lecturers are going to be clicking their heels together, saying, "Oh, okay, well, I don't have to do any tutes today." But I mean, the only leverage we have against federal government spending measures is voting, and that's completely independent of our role as students. But if the MSA wanted to wanted to get a campaign out there saying that all students should not vote for a party that is advocated, that is taking these cuts to the next election, which I believe both the major parties are, but I don't think any of the minor parties are. So you say, you know what, as a student, vote for a minor party at the next election, and
which I think we all do anyway,
and let everyone know that you're voting for a minor party, because that's a big deal politically. You know, if the student political movement actually put their energy into doing something like that, which would actually take a put a sizable dent in a lot of in a lot of electorates' margins. That's real. And this is posturing, and it will achieve nothing.
And I mean, if bloody Monash Stalkerspace can make it to the Herald Sun, then the MSA coming out and taking a stance, saying if you value your education. And this, I think,
well, so that's what they're doing in the.
Well, no, I think maybe it's just me, but the whole kind of like we're making a big gesture out of it. It seems really disingenuous. I would much prefer them to say we have given our sent letters, sent blah blah blah. If you are actually concerned about the cuts, be educated about what they're doing, and then
do what though? Then do what?
But saying no, vote accordingly.
Yeah. But by the time that happens.
I mean,
you can't just hold the threat. You can't just hold the threat of the students are on the steps.
Yeah. I think voting's definitely part of it, but I don't think we should dismiss protesting completely. I mean, look to France, and I know that they have a history of very successful protests.
We should be getting out there and burning some cars.
Let's do it. May 1968, French university students in Paris triggered a massive strike across the whole country, which actually essentially
for what though?
But the
about working conditions and. Unemployment rates, which toppled the Charles de Gaulle government.
But the students striking wasn't the thing.
Yeah, it was
the students encouraging a wider industrial strike.
We can do.
But that's an industrial strike.
It's an industrial issue.
Yeah, that hurts the bottom line.
The sad reality.
Political people don't give a shit if you go and stand on their steps and yell with a banner. That doesn't affect them. What does affect them is if. The nurses strike or the teachers strike or the bottom line gets cut.
What can trigger those strikes? University students.
Someone made
social inequality, like you said, social inequality, unemployment rates. If in the teachers and the nurses, it's that you guys aren't paying us enough for the work that we do. In students, it's just you're taking some money away from the university that we don't even know how it's being spent at the moment, but we're not happy because you're taking it away from us. There's this lack of it. I think the main problem for me is we don't know what we really don't know what's taken away from us, yet we're really, really angry about it, supposedly.
Someone,
I can see your point, but that's my opinion. Is that there are people really getting riled up about it, supposedly, but we don't know what the effect is because you're just taking some money away from us.
I wonder what people getting really riled up about this issue sounds like.
I don't know what I'm yelling about. No, someone made what I think is a pretty good point on Mona's stalker space. That's like when you have the nurses strike or like people striking at like a car manufacturing factory or whatever. Like they're actually providing a service, and without them, you can't like make cars and you can't help sick people. But like if you're students, like what
the correct term for what they're doing tomorrow would be a boycott, because we're consumers boycotting a provider of a service, but they're not boycotting for long enough to actually affect.
But a strike is more evocative as a piece of language.
Sure.
It's more just expressing discontent in a large proportion of voters.
Yeah,
that's all it's doing. I mean, it's not going to have any impact on the university system.
No, look, like I said at the top, good luck to them tomorrow and whatever. My central objection to it is that, and I don't think you disagree, Mads, is that I don't think anyone really believes that the strike will change in the short term the funding cuts which it's protesting, and it's at such a it's really at the pointy end of a semester. For me, it's my second or third last semester of my degree. I really, and there's
closer towards exams and stuff like that.
Yeah, in terms of pointless but evocative political action, or valuing the education which this is supposedly trying to protect. I'm gonna go.
So if they've got more people turning up than they had at the AGM or the SGM, what article of clothing are you going to eat? What's going to be the dessert?
The SGM had 320 people.
Yeah, so if they
get more than
that, if they get 321, what will you eat?
Yeah, what can we make you eat if it makes the front page of the?
Well, no. Okay, if
the Herald Sun,
if it actually reverses any aspect,
you'll kill a hooker
of the funding cuts. If any money comes back to universities as a direct result of this strike tomorrow,
wrestle a bear.
Jelly wrestle a bear.
Well, what kind of bear?
Koala. No. Brown.
Jelly wrestle a brown bear?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Okay.
But you're not going to get...
Pretty confident.
I will jelly wrestle a brown bear.
Okay. Also, if we can't find a brown bear, like Duncan dressed up in a bear suit.
But Duncan in a onesie, blindfolded, covered in jelly.
I like this plan.
Okay, that's a deal. I'm
going to walk out. I'm going to help.
Make Pete wrestle a bear.
Or Duncan.
Can we get this circulated? Just can we make this go viral? Just
get 1 million people tomorrow down to the Parliament.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we had 28 views on our our second.
I think we've really tapped into something.
Yeah.
So if we get 28 people listening, and then each of those people bring 40 to 50,000 people, we could get some serious political change.
All right, everyone who's listening to this, call 40 or 50,000 of your closest friends. So that'll probably do for that whole thing. Phil, you want to talk about GTA 5?
Yeah, it's looking really, really...
This time it's even more personal, I hear it.
It's a working title.
A working title, of course.
What is a GTA 5?
It's Grand Theft Auto.
It's a video game.
The 5th installment in the series.
That's okay.
Which I think it's actually more than 5th.
It's like the 14th.
Grand Theft Auto 3, and then you had Vice City, and then you had San Andreas, and then you had GTA 4.
And
then you had Liberty City Stories.
The Ballad of Gay Tony, and the other one.
Vice City Stories, GTA 1, GTA 2, GTA...
Yeah, so it's probably like GTA 12
But it's the 5th one.
The Ballad of Gay Tony is actually the subtitle of my memoir. True story.
Yeah, it's leading up to. They're kind of like they've been pretty hedgy on details, but it's looking
release
really.
Date?
Sorry.
Release date.
Yeah, September, if I'm not mistaken.
This year.
September 14th.
I think it might be.
Shit balls.
Wait, really?
I think so.
Really?
Or sometime then.
Election day.
Oh. He's hoping.
And no one under the age of 18. Wait. No one under the age of 27 voted that.
What were you going to say? No one under the age of 18 voted.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I think it's probably also pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
Another string of predictions.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, already it's only 3 years since the last one came out. It looks so much better in terms of graphics.
Oh, it's way longer than that. The last one came out in 2000.
GTA 4.
6, 7?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
there you
feels like a long time.
Long time between drinks.
Yeah. And it looks fantastic.
It's supposed to be like 5 times the size of Red Dead Redemption. It's supposed to be like San Andreas, Red Dead Redemption, and GTA 4 combined is how big the map is.
That's big.
There's like scuba diving.
Is it San Andreas big? That's the question.
It's San Andreas. And
I wasn't listening to you.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, but I chose to disagree. I think that'll just about do us for this week.
It about did me.
Yeah. Yeah. Tune in next week where we inside a riot.
If we haven't already.
Not that riots do anything.
No.